Northport officials wrapped up interviews on Thursday for the 4 candidates vying to be the next city administrator. City of San Diego employee and naval officer Nathan Patterson was first up, participating remotely from a military base in Djibouti, Africa.
About me, I grew up in Gadsden, born and raised there, a couple hours northeast of you guys, up the interstate. I did my undergrad at Jacksonville State, and after I finished there, enlisted in the Navy, and about 3 years later, commissioned as a supply corps officer in the Navy, and in total did about 10 years active duty. During that time, I was on a couple carriers and a couple stints in Afghanistan. Ended up out in San Diego as a department head for a special warfare training command, and it was there that I met my wife and decided to make the transition to the reserves to start our family. While I was active duty, I was able to obtain a master's in public administration from Troy University, along with a degree in strategic studies from the Naval War College. So as my wife and I were getting married, I was lining up what we were going to do next, and was very fortunate to step into a role with the city of San Diego there. And I actually left the Navy on a Friday and started with the city the following Monday. It was really a blessing. And so in that role with the city, I was the operations program manager for the city street division, responsible for leading about 330 folks that had the responsibility for maintenance and capital projects for the city street and infrastructure network, which is about 2,500 miles of roads, 5,000 miles of sidewalk, and all the associated infrastructure that you would play with that: street lights, traffic signals, guardrails, those type of things.
Tuscaloosa City Attorney Glenda Webb was the last candidate interviewed and fielded questions in person.
Well, the city of Northport has always held a special place in my heart because I get to compare the city of Tuscaloosa and Northport on a daily basis. When the city administrative position for Northport became posted, it was something that I'd never considered before. It was offhandedly mentioned in a meeting that I happened to be in, and I thought, that's an interesting thing. I looked it up, went online, looked at the job description, looked at the requirements, and it actually fit a lot of the skill set that I believe that I have and future goals, in that I've always thought that once I were retired, I would get into event planning and administration of events and things of that sort. So it seemed like an opportunity that was too good to pass up, and I am hopeful that I was able to share my thoughts and ideas about Northport and its unique aspects with council members and mayor, and of course the staff that were here tonight, and that whatever the decision is that it's the best for Northport, that allows for continued growth and bigger and better things for Northport.
Admin Committee Chair John Hinton has been on the front lines of the search and said he was pleased with how it's gone thus far.
Well, we've had now 35 applicants for city administrator. These were narrowed down to those that were unquestionably qualified, and that was 12 people. So then we narrowed it down as a council down to 7, and we considered all these 7 strongly, reviewed applications, went through the process, and narrowed it down to the top 4. Now we have completed interviewing the top 4, and so I'm hoping that from here we'll make a decision rather quickly and have a new city administrator within due time.
Mayor Bobby Herndon also sat in on interviews and gave his thoughts at the conclusion of the second day.
Well, tonight we had a work session of sorts as far as interviewing 2 potential candidates for the Northport City Administrator position. We had one that was, we interviewed him from Africa, so he was on Zoom, and then we had one who was employed right now of the city of Tuscaloosa. Both had great interviews. It makes a total of 4 that we've interviewed. We're going to meet as the council and then just decide if one of these four is the best fit for our city. And if not, then they'll do something else. But for right now, we've had 4 interviews, and looking forward to eventually and quickly getting a city administrator.
Be sure to subscribe to Patch to stay in the loop for what's going on in Tuscaloosa. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.